Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Higher Expertise. Today we have Flor, Austin, Javier, and Israel. How you guys are doing today?
Doing great, doing great.
Good.
Doing great,
Beautiful
thank
weather.
you.
Hot but beautiful weather. Yeah,
How's the AC in your houses right now?
They're
mine is
full
doing
blast.
great.
We're in
just-
Texas, so it's warm here in Texas in the hundreds.
We
The
just
last
came
couple
from
days.
lunch. Yeah, we just came from lunch, and I had to turn it down because it's just a little bit too much.
Yeah, I don't think Israel is a good reference though. I mean, the guy is freezing with 80 degrees inside his house.
So yeah, guys. So well, today we're going to be talking about continuous learning, constant training. Why does it benefit you personally? How does it benefit the company and the industry? In this particular case, IT, which is managed services, which is the industry that we're on. So I'm going to start off with the first question with you, Javier. Why do we need constant training, especially in this particular case on a personal level?
Yes, yes. I believe we need constant training to remain relevant, right? To not be left behind. Continuous learning forms a necessary part in acquiring critical thinking skills. I've heard this phrase before, and it goes like, the only thing that is constant is change, and that can be changing your career, changing your personal life, changing your community and organizations, of course. And one of the most effective way of dealing with change is with lifelong learning. So continuous learning usually has to be self-motivated. And this is, in my opinion, one of the most important reasons of why some people come last to a company, but they use their time to keep learning and growing. And all of a sudden, they're presented with better opportunities than others who have been there for years because they just don't have that same motivation for growing and improving their skills and their learning.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely. Especially in the IT consulting business, ongoing training is the best way to maximize workforce's potential and fill the downtime or the productivity gaps with ongoing training. And another thing is remaining compliant with regulations that are always changing, especially in different regions like uh, food service or technology, transportation. All of these have governing bodies that change the compliance standards for businesses, and their employees need to stay up to date with these, and training is the best way to handle that.
Right.
Another way to look at it is from the company perspective. Um, we all know that the hiring new employees is very tedious and very time consuming and very costly. So the best way for companies to minimize the turnover is to, first of all, to have a very good onboarding protocol, but also that's only the beginning. We also need to give every person we hire the opportunity to succeed. That way you minimize turnover, and that's a huge benefit from ongoing training. Definitely we need, and we have good training programs to keep the employees we hire and for them to be successful. Definitely, that's a key part of any organization. And beyond that, different industries like healthcare have governing bodies that change, as things progress and as things change, you have certain certifications that you have to go through to make sure that you stay compliant. Technology also changes quickly in the IT space, right? We see that a lot of changes is happening in communication and collaboration. And so being proficient and relevant in your skills with those technologies is going to help you stay competitive. So totally agree with the whole notion of continuous learning.
Yeah, I wanted to say a last note on this one. I don't think it's the right mindset for a company to see constant training as an expense rather than an investment, right? Because literally investing on your employees to be better and grow as a company.
Right.
Overall.
Just to add to that, employees, everyone has certain weaknesses, and by doing constant training, you can work towards getting rid of or reducing those weaknesses.
Minimizing risk, right, and maximizing your true potential as an organization. Definitely, training is part of that.
Before we wrap it up, how does the industry can benefit from having individuals continuously learning, constantly training and learning new skills?
If you as a collective force think forward, and you create new tools, you create new services, you create new leadership skills, the whole industry is going to benefit. So companies are thinking forward, they're forward thinking in terms of all of these things that are coming out. That technology is changing, the services are changing, your workforce is changing. We were in an office 7 months ago, now we're all working remote. How we provide services is also changing. How the companies are looking for services is changing. So collectively, in the industry is going to be impacted as well, and everyone is looking to change. Definitely, change is going to happen.
Training, boosts not just the company productivity, and it helps the company, but it also boosts the employee satisfaction level. And like we were mentioning earlier, like Israel mentioned, times have changed. And 7 months ago, we were in an office, and some people had different responsibilities. And as responsibilities change, you need to adapt, and certain things become a part of your wheelhouse because you're learning new technology, you're learning new responsibilities as the workforce has changed. So, it's not always a detriment to an individual when things change like this, but certainly you can improve yourself in times of, uncertainty.
I would like to say that also. I mean, it definitely changed the way that you see yourself. It's basically like working out. Your body started changing and things like that, and you like the way you look in. Now, if you putting more knowledge into your head, there's new things that you're gonna be learning and knowing about, and that's, I mean, it's definitely gonna be a lot of you're gonna really like it because you're gonna be different.
Oh, one last thing. What about, for example, we're not in the office. I think we talked about this several weeks ago on the podcast, that we're not in the office and we don't have that personal connection, that personal human interaction right now. We depend on technology, right? Same thing, look at Apple. Apple started introducing the Memojis. They started introducing those little widgets and those little fancy things that you use when texting, whereas 2 years ago, that some people would have been like, "What do I need all this for? Just bells and whistles they're charging me for that I don't really use." Nowadays, it's very helpful to help reconnect that human interaction and connection that we don't have from the office.
We've mentioned this before, on and off the podcast, but being in an office is, I think the word camaraderie comes up because you can see people, interact with people, and when there's a lack of human interaction, sometimes things like training can bring organizations back together as you're going through training, digital training together. It's kind of brings people a sense of that, camaraderie that we're missing these days.
All right, guys. That's it for today. Thank you for being here. Everybody, to the audience, please follow us on social media, YouTube, LinkedIn, Vimeo, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you have any questions, reach out to us, go to our website, engage us. And with that being said, thank you, and we'll see you next week. Take care, guys.